Hola, hola everyone. Welcome back to the Resin Lab. Today I pulled out the Vanity set mold that I used for the giveaway when I reached 500 subscribers. So Denise, here is how I'm pouring the set. So I hope you tune in and watch. All right. So I pulled out a couple of Rolio pastel colors and I decided I'm gonna do some mosaic shells and the seashells that I used the other day with the coasters. I really love these seashells. Um, and I just think it'll make it look really nice. So, but the bottom, instead of using sand, I'm going to use the cyan rock candy and Palawan teal to resemble kind of like underwater. So I'm going to attempt to do kind of like an underwater theme for that. So yeah, and then for the jars, I'm going to do probably, for the jars, I haven't decided yet. So I don't know if I want to do them clear with some of the shells or if I want to do them in the color, maybe marble the two colors. Oh, maybe I can marble the two colors, or maybe I can do half with the shells and then the bottom half with the two colors. And then do shells in the lid here for this one, since this is one piece. That's an idea. So I will, the only thing I won't like about that is the lines. If I could do it kind of like in an ombre, I would do, I think it would look nice, but huh. Um, I'll have to think about that while I do, because I have to do the first layer of clear here to put the shells and the mosaic tiles. So, and I'm not going to use the blue mosaic tile this time. I'm going to use the regular white one just because I don't want to drown out the shells in the colors that I use. So, and then also remember that I do have a discount code for Rolio. It's in the description box and it's on the screen right now. So it's just my name, Alexandra. I believe you get 15% off. So take advantage of that discount code whenever you'd like, to get some colors. And they sell colors individually as well as in the set. So definitely take advantage of that. All right. With that said, let's get started. Okay, I mixed 500 milliliters to start just because I want to cover the bottom of this tray and then I decided I'm going to do half and half of the, or maybe not half, but maybe like a little bit of the clear, like especially on this mold here, maybe do the clear like about a third of the way, add the seashells in there, and then pour color the rest. And then this one I'm going to do all color. Or maybe I'll do, because the lid is going to be with the shells. So it doesn't, maybe I'll do just a little bit up here with the clear and the shells. And then I'll do half of this jar here. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. If I have leftovers, then you know me, we can find something else to pour. All right, so let's go ahead and spritz the tray. And I do have a feeling that my mold is no longer shiny, so we might have to do a top coat, but that's fine. Um, just saw something in there. Okay. All right, and I added some, so I mixed in vacuum chambered 500 milliliters of clear, and I added some crushed crystal, just to give it a little bit of sparkle, kind of like salt water, if you will. So let's just pour that We'll see how much that takes. Wow, I think I really went overboard on mixing. That took 150. I need to write that down. 150, 150. Nope. Here we go. 150. All right. So I got that. Okay. So I'm going to let that kind of sit for a bit before we put in the shells. So let's move that out of the way. And let's do this one here. Go ahead and spray. I'm not filling it all the way, well, because the shells are gonna lift it. Man, I just changed my mat and got resin on it already. I guess it's inevitable. Oh, but it doesn't look as bad as the black one. I went with silver this time just because, I don't know, I feel like the black kind of makes things look darker, but now I don't know if this is too bright. So if it is too bright and it hurts your eyes, please comment below and I'll change the color of my mat. I've just got a little tired of the black one. Okay, so this is taking quite a bit. So that took 100. Wow. Okay, that's what I had guesstimated. So I'm writing that down. Lid 100. I'm just writing it on my glove for now. Hopefully I don't take it off and throw it away before I write it down in my notebook. Okay. So that's 100. And then when I put the shells in there, that should push up the resin to make a lip. So that's good. So we're going to move that one out of the way. And before I do this one, let's do this is, I think 50 should do. Maybe I know how to get that effect. I won't let it cure all the way because yeah, if I let it cure all the way, then I'll get a straight line, and I think the straight line is going to look kind of like blah. But if I pour it when it's still not runny, but maybe gelled up, then the resin should push down and kind of create like a ripple effect. So let's try that and see what happens. Okay, so that was about 30. Let's do even 50 just so I can keep track of how much I'm putting in. I have to keep track, otherwise I forget how much. There we go, 50. Okay. So I call that the incense holder. Just writing that down on my hand, on my glove. And then this is short jar. See everyone? Writing it down on my hand. And then regular jar. So we've got the short jar and the regular jar. So, and yeah, I think I'm going to have leftovers. Oh, I forgot to, did I spray that one? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm going to do this one at an angle. There we go. I think that was about 50. Yep. Or maybe not. How many was that? Yeah, that was about 50. And let me just move that over here. And let's do, this one here. And I'm going to tilt it so I don't want to get too much on the base there. Oh, that went halfway. Oh, that was close to 100. I'm going to dump out a little bit because I don't want it that full. I just want a hint of it. So let's just say 150. Okay, so that's about 50 milliliters in there. All right. So I'm going to let that all sit for about 15 minutes. And then I'll be back to put the shells inside. Actually, no. I got to find something else to pour. That's 150. That's how much I have left. So that's 50 to start with. Okay. What can I pour? What can I pour with 150? Let's see. I'm thinking. What can I pour? Something that's 100. I don't want to. Do I want to pour something else right now, though? The lid is my concern. Everything else, because I want to make sure I have enough for this lid. Let's let it sit. I'll pour something that's maybe 100. Let's see. I'm going to put you all on pause for a quick second while I find something. Okay, I pulled out this little coffee cup. Remember last time that I poured it with alcohol ink dripped in here, and I didn't really like how it came out because I just feel like it came out dull. So this time I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to separate a little bit of just about, actually I don't even think well, too bad. I don't think I need this big of a cup, but I'm going to separate this amount here in case I need it for the lid. So that leaves me with just over 100, which is fine. Okay, so I'm going to color this I'm going to do it in a mica powder this time. So let's do, what color mica powder? Let's do, since we're doing Rolio today, let's see what else I have in the pastel box. I've used the Berry Sherbet blush, olive gold, crocus iris. Have I used that? No, I haven't used that. Let's see. Here's an option. Nightshade I've used. Trying to use different colors so y'all can see what they look like. There's salmon pink. Let's do the crocus iris. Iris, that's my daughter's name. If you saw episode, oh gosh, what episode am I on now? If you saw Friday's episode, I can't remember what episode, I'll put it on the screen in just a moment. She poured my daughter poured her own tray. So that was nice. She loves when I do resin work. Sometimes she's just in here while I'm recording and just listening to me, which is, I think, is cute. I have 3 kids, so, well, one of them's an adult child already. She is going to be 23 this year. And then I have my son who is 12 and Iris is 10. So yeah, they are getting older by the second. All right. And this one, last time I poured too much and then I had to, I domed it a little too much, and then when I trimmed, I ended up scratching. So gotta be careful on this one. Ooh, I wonder what let me transfer this Joyce. Oh, yeah, because I'll have to vacuum chamber it once more. So let me transfer that over. Oh, I should have put the mica powder in there, darn it. In any case, let me transfer this over here. I wonder how the crushed crystal is probably going to get lost in there, but that's fine. Not a big deal. So hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I know I did. And I have a craft fair coming up this weekend on the 21st and 22nd. So if you happen to be in West Columbia, South Carolina, that is where the craft fair will be. And that's where I'll be at. All right. So let's open up the mica powder. Okay. So let's go with, let's do 1 scoop. That should be enough. And we're going to use a smaller stick to stir. Let me just check the temperature. Okay, this one's getting a little warmer. So is that one. So I think I can start putting in the shells once I pop this in the vacuum chamber. Oh, that went everywhere. Good gracious. Okay. Luckily, it just went on the outside of this mold. That's what happens when I start like thinking too much or not thinking enough, maybe. I don't know. So, oops, there's another piece of something in there. Oh, it's on the bottom. Okay. So let's go ahead and stir this. Very nice color. All right, I'm going to go pop this in the vacuum chamber. And then put the shells in the other pieces while that's going. Oh, because I remember last time that I did that, we couldn't hear the vacuum chamber because I have my microphone on. I hope I have yes, I do have my microphone on. This has been a little hard to get used to is turning on my microphone because there's been a couple times where I've recorded and either the microphone died or I forgot to turn it on. So, which sometimes I can go back and kind of restart, well, not restart, but kind of go back and play it off. But other times I have to just do a voiceover like I did a couple episodes ago. So I'm over here at my vacuum chamber, putting in the cup so that can degas since I stirred bubbles in it. And I'm going to set this aside and start putting, actually, I'm going to put you all on pause. I'm just going to make sure that the resin isn't overflowing. Okay, I am back. Let's go ahead and spray. Got all the bubbles out. Just giving it a little spray just in case. All right. Can y'all see? Yes, you can. There we go. I think I'm gonna have still extra. Let me squeeze right here. Squeeze that bubble out. There we go. And the little clip, what did I do with it? It's over here. There we go. Okay, that's nice and domed. All right, so let's move that out of the way. Fix this one. And I'm gonna just a little bit more. Because last time I domed it too much and then it was hard to trim. So hopefully that's not too bad. Okay. I still have about, probably about 40. So let's take out a little mini pot. Oh, it's right here. Oh, this turned out to be a big project day. Friday's video was so short just because our project was so easy and we didn't have any extra. But I guess it worked out. Oh, this is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So if I had 100 in this, that took about, oh, only took about 70 or 80 maybe. Okay. And I have enough probably to scrape. Let's scrape. Let's see. Grab my bigger spatula here. This should be enough for a little teddy bear. Or, now I have so many teddy bears. Okay, let's not do a teddy bear. Let's do, let's do a little seahorse. Okay. I'm just looking at the mold to make sure I don't have anything in there. Okay. Can you all see that? There we go. That's a better angle. I was looking at my giveaway bin and telling my husband, like, look at all that resin that, you know, it's just leftover scrapings. It really does add up. Oh yeah, this was a good choice. Good choice. Good choice. All right, just scraping the rest of the resin here. Perfect. All right. Let me just go ahead and clean my stick here. Okay, so this is going to trade places. Let's do this one first. Trade places that. Oh, open up those. How do I want to do this? Let me get another scooper. Just, what a mess. That was not good. I kind of want these to sink and they're not sinking. So that means I'll have to push them down. And hopefully when I push them down, they won't create bubbles. Actually, right now is probably the perfect time to mix and pour the blue because it's still kind of soft. So I think as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to mix more resin to do the blue. But remember, the blue is not going in this one. This one's going to be all clear because it's the lid. I love these seashells. They're so cute. Super cute. Yeah, if I push that down, that's going to create bubbles. So I've got the clear on the side over there. Let's see how this does in here. Don't want the shells to be backwards per se. Let's see. Pop something in there. Just flipping the shells over so that they're right side up. Oh, they did sink. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let me grab this again. There we go. Okay. Just a little more. Nope, got a pop-up bubble that's there. There we go. Okay. See how that looks. Yep, they're sinking. I can see them sinking. I don't have to push them down. But just in case, there we go. I'm just gently pushing down and pulling up any bubbles. Hard to see what I'm doing, but all I'm doing is just pushing down gently on whatever's not sunk. Okay. See another bubble in there. Perfect. Popped it. All right. So that one is done. So let me move this over to that side. Oh, perfect. These are sinking. When has an artist, a resin artist, been happy about their mix-ins sinking? Makes me think it's funny because normally if stuff sinks, we're like, no, don't sink. We want it to float. But in this case, I do want it to sink. There we go. Trying to pull up those bubbles. Put this point. It's so thick. See if we can push some shells under here so that it's not so clear. There we go. Nice. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I think I'm going to add a few more. So if you don't want your shells to sink, you'll want to wait a little bit longer before adding them to your resin, just so that they stay afloat. There we go, that bubble came up. Okay. Just gonna add a few more so that we can fill that out. Okay. I'm gonna let that kind of do its thing. That's 2 down. Okay. Oh, and let me get the rest of this clear in there. Perfect. It's a little goopy. Not goopy. It's like honey. But I need to make sure that I have a lip for the for it to fit on the jar. There we go. Perfect. I separated. It's a good thing I separated this to save it. So this actually takes a little more than 100. Okay. Trying to get all of this out of there. There we go. All right. That's that. Let me pop some of these bubbles that have come up. And even if there are a little bit of bubbles, it's undersea water theme, so I can live with it as long as they're not like invasive bubbles. So, all right. Oops, another bubble here. There we go. Come on, pop, pop, pop. Okay, we push those down. Very good. Come on. Go under there. You go there. Okay. I don't know why these little lighters don't last. Okay. Let me just spritz just in case that alcohol will help it rise. All right. Let's see how these do. All right. So I'm going to go and place, how long has it been? Oh my gosh, I've been pouring and doing this for almost an hour. So I think these are good to go place on the heat mat now. So I'm going to place those on the heat mat. I'm going to mix up some more resin to pour the back of the backs of these, and then it'll be time to demold. So stay tuned. Okay, I've got another batch of resin. I did about 500 milliliters this time again. And I've got my 2 cups to split that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up. This is Rolio Cyan Rock Candy. And then the Palawan Teal. And these are in the pastel set. There's a scoop there. Two scoops of that one. Let me open up this one. Pretty green. I like it very much. Okay. One, two. Right. Now, pour some alcohol in there. Get that dissolved. There we go. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and pour. Let's transfer this into those cups. Put it from this side so I can see the milliliters. Just a little bit more. Perfect. That's half. And here's the other half. I grabbed my spatula. Weird. Let's see. So for those of you that are new to resin, that is the proper way to mix your mica powder into your resin. What I did earlier, pouring the mica powder into the resin, is not the best way to do it, just because you can end up with like streaks of unmixed mica powder. Also, there tends to be a lot more blowback of the mica powder, so something to keep in mind when mixing and pouring. All right. That little bit in there. Put that over here. All right, let's mix. And the alcohol does make it slightly not watery, but it does feel like it makes it a little bit more watery, so, which is normal. Eventually the alcohol will evaporate, and then of course the resin with the chemical reaction will thicken. I got resin on my gloves. Go ahead and clean that. There we go. Just giving this a nice stir. Scrape your sides. There we go. That looks good. Now, mind you, I haven't placed any of these pieces on the heat mat, so by now they're gelled up, which is good. I'm hoping that this will work. So what I'm looking for, if you're just tuning into the video, or if you fast forwarded earlier, is for the resin that I'm pouring on the back to kind of create like an uneven surface. Like I don't want a flat line. So hopefully this works. I'm looking for kind of like a wavy line because it's not fully cured yet. Normally when you're doing layers, that's what you don't want. You don't want that waviness, but in this case, that's what I'm going for. Not sure if it's going to work, but we'll see. These cups are nice, but the way the mica powder gets into those little crevices is quite annoying. Okay, this is all nice and mixed up. So now I'm going to go and place this in the vacuum chamber, and then we'll pour the second layer. Be right back. Okay, these look beautiful in the cups. I can't wait to see them marbled together. So let's start with the jars and the incense holder. At least that's what I think this is. And I'm gonna kind of squish it to make it a little, I guess, uneven. Hopefully I'm not introducing bubbles. Where is my tool? Oh yeah, that's nice and thick. Okay. So it's thick, but it's not firm. I've got some bubbles to pop over there. Let's see. And that, of course, is not working. I was so excited when I bought these lighters because they're smaller and they fit better in my hand. And come to find out they don't work that well. Oh well, let's do the heat gun. And okay, that worked. And I don't see any more. Okay. So let's, can you see me? Yes, you can. I'm just kind of swirling this. No particular pattern. Okay. All right. And wipe that up. Okay. This is poured. Moving that over to the side. And I'm just kind of pushing on the bottom to see if I can get that pattern. And hopefully that works. Okay. Boy, I hope I have enough. Okay. Let's do this one. And I'm just doing kind of like a circular motion. Okay. Same here. Trying to create that pattern. But you know, even from the side here, it doesn't look bad. So even if it does have a straight line, it doesn't look bad. Okay. That's that one. Now for this one. I'm running out of blue. Okay. I'm going to give that a little bit of a swirl. Just because I want it to be nice and marbled. That's swirl enough. Hopefully that doesn't mix. Okay. That's that piece. So now we just have the base, and I think I'm gonna need more. All right. Oh yeah, I see it doing what I want it to do. Okay. I'm gonna have to mix more resin, everyone. This isn't enough. Oops, one of the little shells floated up here, so I'm gonna have to grab that out. Push it back in. Okay. Let's pour that there. See, that's what you, again, this is what you don't want when you want to do layers, at least that are different colors. If it's a clear layer, then it shouldn't matter. Well, even if it's a clear layer, you do want to be careful, because if you've got stuff in there, like mix-ins or other types of things, then you do want to be careful that you don't pour too soon. But when you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, I think this is the perfect time. And that was about an hour that it was out. It took 49 minutes for me to get everything situated and poured the first time. So 49 minutes plus another, let's say 20, or another 5 mixing, maybe 10, because I mixed with the mixing tool and then I mixed by hand for another few minutes. Okay, there we go. And just pour that. Then I'm trying to think how much more to do. I think I'll do another 150. Yep, another 150 should do it. Hopefully I don't end up with too much extra. All right, put those cups aside. Clean off my mixing stick here. All right, I think I'll do the same thing. I'm just gonna mix, vacuum chamber, and come back to the camera so I don't keep you all, you guys know, or at least you saw me mix once and put in the mica powder once. So at least for those of you that are new, you saw me do that once. So it's pretty much the same process, just one more time. All right, be right back. Okay, hopefully this is enough resin. I did another 160. So let's see. Let's do the blue down the middle. And then the green on the side. And if you're doing this project, you really have to babysit these shells, because I noticed that some of the shells rose a little bit. Okay, this is just enough. Perfect. I was afraid I was gonna have extra. And it still didn't fill it up all the way, but that's okay. Just put that down the middle there. Cover all that. I'm hoping that I don't get any shells protruding from here, because then I have to do another coat of clear on top. Well, I'll have to sand it and then coat it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Don't want to have to sand it. I might have to top coat it just because I think this mold is a little dull. Because I've had it for quite some time. Nonetheless, should look good. Okay. Scrape out this one. I love these cups. So much easier to work with. Okay. Oops, why did I do that? All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and push some of, see how these little shells are floating up? I'm going to push them down to get them embedded into the clear gently. And that's what I was referring to when I was talking about some of the shells floating in the jars. I mean, I'll probably end up with a couple of shells floating in the jars, but it's fine. And I'm just pushing these down because, like I said, I don't want to have to do a back coat on this. Just pushing them down into the clear. Okay, that is it. I'm going to let these all sit overnight and then place them on the heat mat in the morning, just because, again, I don't want to loosen the shells and have them start floating up. Like this one's got another shell that's floating up here, and I'm gonna have to fix that. Hopefully I can get it in. And if you have these long sticks, they're super helpful. There we go. I got it into the clear section. But now I've got all this on my stick. So the colors kind of merged, but that's okay. I can see some of the green on this side here. I don't mind if the colors merge. I kind of wanted them to merge because, you know, ocean. So it doesn't bother me. Now these, I don't know if they're going to merge or not, but I like that pattern. I think it looks beautiful, so I'm leaving it that way. But in any case, I will see you all at demold. It's time to demold. So let's start with the smallest thing, which would be this seahorse. And that looks cute. Really cute. I'm looking to see, I don't see any major bubbles, so that's good. So that came out cute. Very good. All right. Next is the mini pot. Just grab a dotting tool here to break the seal. Cute. And I don't see any bubbles. Whoops, I'm gonna hold it over here. I don't see any bubbles. And it's pretty shiny. So I guess if I use pigment paste, it comes out kind of matte and dull. So that's good to know. I thought my mold was going bad. I've used it so many times. Okay. Next, let's do the little saucer. Oh, this came out much better this time. I still have a little bit of a trim to do, but it's not as much as before. So that came out nice. I don't see any bubbles. And it came out nice and shiny. It doesn't look dull. So I wonder if the alcohol inks just look dull in general. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll just have to trim that or file it down. Okay, now for the cup. This one needs some trimming. Let me get some alcohol in that one. That came out much better than the last time. I do have to trim down here, but not a big deal. And I didn't dome it, so it's a good thing I didn't dome it. But that looks so cute. I like it. Came out much better this time. Okay. Now for the big reveals. So let's, I should have cleaned these before. I'm so sorry. I love it. I don't have a blunt line, which is exactly what I was going for. It's a little straight here, but it looks slightly curvy. I don't know if you can see in the camera, like right here, it curves a little bit, which is exactly what I was going for. So this came out awesome. And I see a couple bubbles, but they look okay. I mean, it's like underwater, and I see the crushed crystal. It's not overpowering. That looks amazing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just have to sand or trim, probably trim this down here. Okay. You move these out of the way. And let's do this one. Turn my molds right side out. This one came out perfect also. Wow. I'm so happy with it. I've got curves, so I don't have that blunt straight line, and I've got curves, which is what I was going for. It's a little more curvy up here than I want it to be, but a couple of shells were floating up, so I did have to push it down, so that must have been where I pushed it down. But oh my gosh, this looks super nice, and I don't see any bubbles. This came out nice. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now for the top or the lid. I've got that lip, so that's good. Look at that. That came out perfect. A few bubbles, but I'm not bothered by it because it's like underwater. So that looks amazing. Let's see how it fits on here. So that's how it looks. Oh, that looks so cool. That came out really cool. Wow. I'm impressed with myself, y'all. That looks amazing. Okay, now this jar. Okay, let's see. Look at that. I'm so happy it came out this way. I was worried. I was like, oh man, I don't know how it's gonna look. I mean, I guess we all worry about how our stuff's gonna come out, right? At least I do. But look at that. Looks amazing. I love that it's not a blunt line. Like it's got some curves there. So that's the key is don't pour when, so make sure you pour to get this effect. Make sure you pour when your resin is um, not tacky. You don't want it to be tacky because by the time it's tacky, it's already hardened enough to where it'll create that straight line. So you want to make sure that it's kind of like a honey, like a very thick honey consistency so that you get that effect. Yes. Okay. Now for the tray. So some of the shells did um, rise up to the back of this, but we shall see how it looks in the front. That looks fantastic. And my mold, I feel like I might need a top coat just to make it a little more shiny, but I don't know. It's not dull. When I hold it up to the light, I mean, it looks shiny from here. Got this little bit of an indentation, but that's okay. But yeah, that looks amazing. So these go like this. So Denise Kendall, I hope you enjoyed that because this video is for you. But yeah, this looks so awesome. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to do anything to these except trim, because I just I don't want to take away from the just the the beauty of it. I don't think it needs anything else in my opinion. So I'm going to trim everything and then add bumpers to the bottom of this tray here. And then what I'll do is, let's see, the mini pot doesn't need anything except a little bit of a trim. This cup, I'll probably paint this white and trim, just trim here and paint the seahorse. So yeah, it'll be hopefully it won't be too long of a fast forward for you. All right, back in a bit. We are all finished for the day. So, like I said, I didn't do anything to these other than just trim the bottom. So I just trimmed around the edges here, under the jars, just trimmed all of that to make sure it's not sharp. I trimmed under the tray, and then I also added, in the video you saw me add 4 bumpers, but I added these 2 in the middle because I noticed that once I placed the jars on top, the middle was starting to kind of buckle a little bit, kind of give. So I added those two, that way it stays nice and straight. So make sure you do that if you use the bumpers, if you get this mold and use the bumpers. So here's a little mini pot. Oh, I didn't trim the mini pot, but it doesn't, I'll trim it right now. I forgot about the mini pot, but all this needed was a little trim. And there we go. So that's the mini pot. I painted the seahorse, and then I'll spray seal it later when I spray seal a whole bunch of other stuff that I have that's this size and small. Oh, I didn't add a magnet to it, so let me do that now. Let's see. Let me just add the magnet here to the back. So that one's done. And then on the cup, all I did was do 2 coats of the acrylic paint with the Let's Resin markers, acrylic markers, and then I did a coat of this Duraclear high gloss to give it shine. Just because I don't want to spray seal the whole cup, so I figured I would just add the Duraclear on the spot where the heart is to make sure that it doesn't scratch or anything. Trim the bottom. I did over pour, or not so much over pour, but I did not clip the ear to the cup as well as I thought I did. So I do have a little bit of deformation here. So probably should spray seal to hide that cut there. I wonder what Duraclear will do on that. Let's see. See if that hides it. Only because I don't want to spray seal this whole little cup. And that hides it pretty well. Very good. Okay, so I'll leave that like that. So that's the little cup. The the little saucer, all I did was trim the bottom, and I added the small bumpers to this so that it doesn't slip or scratch any surfaces. So that is everything. I am oh, I want to remind everybody about the giveaway scheduled for April 3rd on episode number 50. I have a link in the description box to sign up for it. Here is a picture of the giveaway prize, which is a brand new box of the Chang TG mica powders, a set of 36. I've used some of those colors on my channel. I didn't use any of that today, but on other videos I have used it, and the colors are really pretty. So yeah, so you have till March 25th at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to sign up for the giveaway if you'd like to be entered, and then I will announce the winner on April 3rd, which is episode 50, and email the winner as well on that day. So yeah, so if you stuck with me this far, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe and like button. It helps me out a lot. Also, don't forget to let me know what kind of perks you're interested in if I was to open up the membership for my channel. I'm really interested in getting to know that. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. And I will see you all on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bye.